that I want to talk about first, I'll talk about subject to. Okay, subject to. Everybody always hears about subject to, but nobody ever understands it, right? It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to get. I totally get it. Once you get it though, and it clicks, it's like, oh, I can do this. Now, all this is not assuming the loan. This is not assuming the loan. So never, ever, ever say assuming the loan, because you're not assuming the loan. They're going, the seller is going to be distressed. They're going to be behind, and you can, and it can work when it's not distressed, right? When it's not a distressed property. When I say distressed property, I mean like they're behind on their payments for some reason. Distressed will mean like they're 30, 60, or 90 days late, or maybe they're going through a bankruptcy, or they're going through a divorce, or maybe they have some medical issues or medical payments, medical bills, something along the lines of this, or probate or something like that, right? There's some issue going on with the house due to like something that went on, like with a life change. Okay. So, so subject to is when you're going to do all your marketing, right? You're going to start getting these calls coming in, and then somebody's going to call you and they're going to say like, I'm behind on all my payments and I haven't paid my taxes in 5 years or something like this, right? So they're going to have like all these issues, right? And a lot of times what happens is if you do not understand this right here, then you're going to be like, okay, I have no idea what to do with this property. So the only way for you to know, what you need to do is when you get these kinds of calls coming in where they're behind on their payments and they're like having they're just struggling right now. They're struggling, okay? Which it's going to happen. I'm telling you, in the course of the next 6 months, it's going to start happening more and more, right? You're going to learn subject to. Now, you're not going to say, hey, can I take your house subject to? Because nobody is going to understand this. All right. Nobody understands subject to. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, how much are you behind on your mortgage? And they're going to say, okay, I'm 3 months behind on my mortgage. How much is your mortgage? My mortgage is $1,000 a month. Okay, so you owe $3,000. All right. And have you paid any of that? No, I haven't paid any mortgage for the last 90 days. Okay. And then you're going to say, well, and then do you have a second mortgage? And they're going to say, no, I don't have a second mortgage. Or yes, I have a second mortgage for like 15 grand. I have a personal loan out and I owe, 10 grand on that as well too. Okay. And then you're going to say, do you owe any taxes on anything? And they're going to say, yes, I owe taxes on my taxes, for my property. I haven't paid my taxes in 3 years as well too. And I owe like $1,500 for that or whatever it is. Okay. So now you're going to tally all that up. You're going to say, okay, like I'm going to have to come to the table like $4,500, $5,000 just to bring these people current. I'm already like $5,000 in. Okay. And you're going to bring them current. And then what you're going to do is you're going to say, look, what if I help you? What if I help you to remedy this situation? What if I fix this problem for you? I'm going to tell you how I can fix this, but it's really very outside the box. All right. So you're going to have to listen to my solution because I have a great solution for you, but you're also going to have to be open to what I'm telling you because I can help you to get you out of your troubles if you just trust me and listen to me. Right. And so they're going to say, okay, yeah, tell me what it is. Okay. You're going to say, look, I'm going to bring you current on your loan. I'll come the $5,000 out of pocket. All right. And then what's going to happen is that you just give me the deed. You give me the deed to the property, and this property is going to be mine. And then you just walk away from the property. Okay. And so and then what will happen is that you'll say, I will pay your mortgage. We keep it in your name on a monthly basis. Right? So you have $1,000 a month mortgage every single month. I'll pay that. All right. And then I will make sure that that's paid on time every single month. So I'm going to bring you current up to the $5,000, and I'm going to pay your $1,000 as long as I own this house. I'll pay this $1,000. And what's going to happen is over time, your credit within the next year or so is going to be back to normal. Because essentially what I'm doing is I'm helping you to restore your life and restore your credit. And you get to just walk away with the property, and everything that is anything that has to do with the property, I will take over and I will handle it. Right. And there could be repairs, or there could not be repairs. It could be like a pristine house, and they just ran into troubled times and they just want to walk away with the property. Or it could be just like a piece of crap property, and you're going to have to come in and try to figure out what the rehab is or whatever. Now, if you walk into a property like this and you see the property and it's like pristine and there's like hardly any work, maybe it just needs like some painting or whatever, or like new appliances, which happens all the time, right? Then essentially that you only have to come out of pocket for that. And that would probably be a good scenario for you to like hold on to it and then just rent it out, right? Just as long as you can make more money than what you pay on the mortgage, right? So if the rent is only $900 and you pay $1,000 every month, well, then you don't want to rent it out, right? But if the typical rent in that area is $1,400 or $1,500, then that would be a good way for you to hold on to the property, pay the mortgage every single month, and just rent it out for $1,500 and make $500 a month. Okay, that's if you see like a nice house that maybe just needs a very little bit of work. What you could do also is you could use this strategy for a rehab. All right. So essentially what happens is they come to you and they're behind. You're going to bring them current. You're going to pay the $1,000. And then you look around, you say, look, I mean, this place is kind of dumpy. Like it's going to need like 40 or 50 grand worth of work. Right. So now you're saying, okay, like, can I rehab this home, flip it and just sell it and then make the money, the profit on the back end? Okay. So you could also use this strategy for dumpy houses that need to be rehabbed. Now, what happens is that mortgage is still in first lien position. The mortgage is still in first lien position, right? From like Wells Fargo or whatever bank it is. Okay. So that means that you can't go and get a loan for the rehab, right? From like a hard money lender or something like that, because they're going to want like a bank, because they're going to want to get first lien position. You could go to a private lender and you could borrow 40 grand and they could become a second lien on that property, right? Or you could just come out of cash, out of pocket, and then you could just pay the 40 grand yourself. All right. And that is, and that's how you use the subject to method to flip homes. And then you fix it up and you sell it on the back end, and then you get whatever is left over from that. Okay. So let's do like a scenario. Okay. Let's just say that I'll write this down, subject to. Let's just say that the owners owe $125,000 on their property. Okay, this is what they owe total, right? And their monthly mortgage is $1,000 a month, right? And their interest rate on this is 5%, right? So it's a good loan. It's not too bad, right? And you always want to ask the interest rate, right? Because if it's like 10%, then like who knows? Like they must have had like hard money lender buy this thing or something. So sometimes it doesn't work. Okay, so this is the owner, and he's behind on his mortgage $5,000, which is like 3 months behind. Okay. All right. So what you're going to do is, you as the buyer, you're going to have to bring $5,000 to closing just to get this current. Definitely you have to do that. Okay. Now you're going to run comps. And when you run comps, you notice that this house is worth $175. They owe $125 and it's worth $175. Okay. ARV. Okay. And then you could rent this for $1,500 a month rent. Okay. So this is actually a pretty good scenario. All you have to do is bring 5,000 to the table. They exchange and you get the deed. You get the deed actually. So you own the house, you bring 5,000 to the table and then you just start running it out for 1,500. Let's say you need some repairs and it costs you, I don't know, 5K or something for repairs. So you have to come out of pocket 5K for repairs. Okay, so that's actually a great deal right here, right? Because not only going to make $500 a month, you already got some equity in the back end. Okay, so you can just start paying that loan. Now, with that, what you want to do is you want to say, what if they said no, I don't want to do that? Or actually what you would say to them is you would say, if they say no, I don't know, I got to think about it. You say, look, what would it take for you to accept this offer, right? And then, or you say something like, what do you need in order to move out of this house? What do you need? All right. And then they're going to say, I need like $10,000, right? I need to move. I need to get a moving truck. I need to have money for like my 2 months rent for my apartment. Like, I just need some money. We have no money, right? And you're going to say, okay, well then now the question is, can I take 10K out and give it to them as like a payment for them moving out? Right? And so the question is, could you do that? Now, me personally, I would totally do that because, even if I'm 50 grand in the, I would have to be here now 20 grand in the hole. I'd have to come out of pocket 20K. I would pay 5 months to get current. I would do 5,000 in repair. So I'm still 20 grand in the hole in the front, right? Now, but I'm still 50K on the back end appraised. And over the course of the next couple of years, who knows, it could go up, right? And I'm still making money, $500 every single month. Okay. So that is a subject to deal. That's a subject to deal. Now, there is something called the due on sale clause, right? So at any time the bank, if they found out or whatever, and I just said like, screw you, now you just owe the whole house. So then essentially what happens is the loan is in the owner's name, right? So they're going to get foreclosed on is what's going to happen. All right. But you need to, but most, this rarely happens, but it could happen. All right. So it's called the due on sale clause, where they come to you and they say, now all the money is due. So the loan could get foreclosed on, right? Just so you know, which is called due on sale. Kind of a lot, I get it. This is very advanced stuff here, all right? But all creative deal structuring is all advanced, okay? Just so you know. Okay. Subject 2. I love subject 2. It's a great strategy. A couple of my students have done subject 2 in the group just here in the last couple of months. It works in the coaching group. It works. You just have to truly understand it. Now the thing is like, you're going to go through, you're still going to start getting these calls. What you really need, honestly, is you need to either, number one, figure it out yourself. Like, you're going to get the call and you're going to be like, okay, I think this is the subject 2. Now what do I do? And you're going to have to figure it out yourself. Or number 2, you're going to need somebody to talk to really talk this through with you, right? And that's where the coaching comes in. That's where like my students are like, now what do I do? Now what do I do, right? And then we do the coaching and I walk them through that. Because this is like, I'm giving you the 50,000 overview, but there's a lot of intricacies and stuff like that go into it. But you could totally figure this out on your own if you want. All right, totally. I had a coach personally. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm getting me a coach. Okay. All right. That is subject 2. Okay. Take a deep breath. Okay. Any questions on that? I see some questions actually. So if I understand, this is the current owner deed to the property and you make the statements. Yep, exactly. Tyler, what creative deals would you use for sellers that would like to purchase a new home after selling their property? What do you mean? What do you mean, Tyler? I'm not understanding. Like if you did a subject to on the property and they want to go out, that's the one thing with subject to is that the owners have the name in their property, right? So they can't go out and buy another house. If they're saying, no, I'm selling my house because I want to go buy another house, well, then this is not going to work for them. All right. But if they're saying like, look, I'm struggling, I need to downsize into an apartment. I'm in a 3-2 right now. I'm going to downsize to a 2-1. Like I need to get back on my feet. This would be the perfect property. This is the perfect deal for them. Subject to. Okay. Okay.